A multi-million-dollar content deal, a global brand poised for unparalleled elevation, and then a spectacular implosion. What began as a grand ambition to solidify Meghan Markle's global presence has now crumbled in one of the most publicly humiliating downfalls of her post-royal career. Netflix, once a proud champion of Meghan and Harry storytelling dreams, reportedly pulled the plug on, with Love, Meghan, after a torrent of alarming revelations surfaced. These weren't minor missteps. Insiders reveal a pattern of fabrication, dishonesty, and public manipulation so extensive it became impossible to ignore. Meghan was allegedly caught red-handed doing something so damaging, so deeply unethical, that Netflix had no choice but to scrap the entire second season. From allegedly staged philanthropy scenes to plagiarized stories and manipulated footage, Meghan's meticulously crafted public image is disintegrating under the undeniable weight of truth. And Netflix, it seems, is no longer willing to carry the baggage. One of the most immediate and glaring red flags that ignited internal alarm bells at Netflix was the discovery that multiple scenes depicting Meghan's supposed charitable work were entirely fabricated. A production assistant reportedly leaked that a scene showcasing Meghan volunteering at a children's literacy center was completely fake. The children weren't genuine beneficiaries, they were hired child actors. The substantial donations featured were quietly returned after filming, and the volunteers were none other than Meghan's personal staff, dressed up to appear as local community members. This wasn't just a violation of documentary ethics, it was a direct insult to the very essence of genuine philanthropy. Netflix executives were said to be blindsided and absolutely livid, realizing that what they were sold as authentic, heartfelt footage was nothing more than a carefully orchestrated deception. Behind the scenes, Netflix's legal team found themselves increasingly uneasy with certain defamatory claims Meghan made about the royal family, particularly targeting Queen Camilla and Prince William. In one episode outline, Meghan allegedly accused a senior royal of emotionally abandoning her while she was pregnant. However, legal reviewers found no supporting documentation, no witnesses, and no clear timeline to substantiate the claim. Attorneys immediately flagged the segment as potentially libelous, issuing a stern warning to Netflix that it could lead to substantial lawsuits from Buckingham Palace. Under immense pressure, the streaming giant reportedly quietly pulled the segment, but the damage to trust was already done. Meghan's storytelling had crossed a critical legal and moral boundary, signaling a dangerous disregard for factual accuracy and the potential for severe repercussions. Reports from within the production painted a grim picture, revealing an increasingly toxic work environment directly attributed to Meghan herself. Multiple crew members came forward anonymously, describing her behavior as consistently hostile, microcontrolling, and deeply condescending. One assistant claimed Meghan would routinely berate staff in front of others for minor mistakes, creating an atmosphere of fear and anxiety. Another recounted demands for last-minute script changes that directly contradicted earlier edits, throwing the production into chaos. Morale plummeted, and the project fell significantly behind schedule. Netflix was forced to bring in conflict resolution specialists, a clear sign of severe internal strife, but it was too late. Many staffers flat-out refused to return for a second season. What was supposed to be an empowering behind-the-scenes show had devolved into an internal nightmare of royal-sized ego clashes and Hollywood theatrics. Even more damning was the shocking discovery that some of Meghan's most emotional and deeply personal stories were not hers at all. Viewers and sharp-eyed researchers uncovered that a tearful moment she described about experiencing racial profiling at a grocery store was nearly identical, word for word, to a viral Reddit post from 2017. The parallels were undeniable, the descriptions identical. The only difference, Meghan presented it as her lived experience on global television. Netflix's own fact-checkers reportedly flagged several other moments with similar issues, leading to accusations of emotional plagiarism. For a platform that champions and values original storytelling, this was a crushing betrayal. It revealed not just laziness, but a calculated and intentional manipulation of viewers' empathy, eroding the very foundation of trust. Another major issue uncovered by post-production staff involved the outright manipulation of audio and editing to create artificial emotional moments. In one widely shared clip, Meghan is shown sitting in her living room, holding Archie's toy and softly weeping. It appeared to be a quiet, heartbreaking scene. Yet, it was later revealed that the crying audio was added in post-production, and Meghan never shed a single tear during the original shoot. A former editor disclosed that dozens of moments like this were fabricated during the editing process, employing background music, dramatic lighting effects, and intricate sound layering to make Meghan appear more sympathetic and vulnerable. Netflix believed they were investing in raw, authentic truth. Instead, they were handed a meticulously constructed reality show disguised as a genuine documentary, a deceptive charade designed to elicit specific emotional responses. With Love, Meghan was originally envisioned to feature high-profile interviews and guest appearances from Meghan's inner circle. Names like Oprah, Ellen, Serena Williams, Tyler Perry, and even Michelle Obama were extensively discussed in early planning stages. However, sources close to the production claimed that every single one of them either pulled out or flat-out refused involvement after reviewing the show's concept. An executive revealed that these prominent figures simply did not want to be associated with what they perceived as a vanity project built on half-truths and manufactured narratives. Meghan's growing reputation as a manipulative and unpredictable figure reportedly made her far too risky to align with, even in image-conscious Hollywood, where public perception is everything. The A-list exodus was a stark indicator of Meghan's dwindling influence and growing isolation among her celebrity peers. Perhaps the biggest mistake Netflix made was granting Meghan complete creative control. She reportedly routinely ignored editorial feedback, consistently overruled seasoned producers, and insisted on scripts that reflected her truth rather than objective reality. One frustrated producer candidly labeled the project a documentary by dictatorship. Scenes were rewritten mid-shoot, forcing crew members to scramble and adapt. Editors were explicitly instructed to cut any footage that didn't portray Meghan in a powerful and graceful light, regardless of its authenticity. When staff members dared to push back, she allegedly threatened to walk away and take the content elsewhere, leaving Netflix in a precarious position. Netflix executives now privately admit that they handed the steering wheel to someone who, in their words, crashed the vehicle and then audaciously blamed the road. The plummeting viewership figures and mass audience drop-offs served as undeniable evidence of the show's failure. Viewer ratings plunged by over 60% by episode 3, with audiences complaining the content felt empty, fake, and painfully scripted. Even longtime Sussex supporters began to voice their disappointment online, accusing Meghan of resorting to emotional manipulation instead of delivering genuine content. In a truly shocking turn, an anonymous Netflix insider reportedly leaked an internal company memo circulated between top executives just weeks before the cancellation. The document bluntly stated, "We can no longer treat Meghan Markle as an asset. She is a reputational liability. Her content lacks credibility, and the backlash is damaging brand trust." The memo reportedly suggested suspending all future content tied to Meghan's name and recommended a legal review of existing footage to prevent further defamation claims. If true, this is devastating. It reveals that even within her biggest media ally, Meghan is no longer viewed as an asset, but as a problem that needs to be contained. With Love, Meghan, officially scrapped and Meghan Markle's brand visibly sinking under the crushing weight of her own contradictions, it's abundantly clear the fairy tale is definitively over. Netflix isn't merely distancing itself, it's actively protecting its own reputation from further destruction. And Meghan, she's learning the hard way that when your truth is built entirely on fiction, it only takes one powerful gust of real-world exposure to blow it all spectacularly apart. The walls are closing in, and this time, the damage may be beyond repair.